Hello, 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 hello. Oh wow, this is my first time on the mic, so ooh. So I apologize if you hear shit like that, and I apologize for swearing. It's the No Shade Show, and I'm Jazz Orco. This is Trey, Fully Ghost. Say hey.
Hello.
And we have
I will not apologize for cursing.
and we have Bad Puppy over here, Amando. Say hi.
Hi.
And our theme for tonight is guilty pleasures. So that might not have been as guilty enough for you, but we've got some pretty embarrassing tunes on the way here, and then we've got a guest mix from Bad Puppy. So yeah, hope you enjoy.
Or not.
I'm gonna start off with maybe actually not very embarrassing for me. I'm super proud. But I think it's there's this thing when it comes to guilty pleasures. Is it a guilty pleasure? Is it a throwback? What does that mean? I think some things could be guilty pleasures because you just think back to them as a teenager and you're just oh, cringe time, cringe. So that's this one. It's called Freak on a Leash.
Something lost and never seen. Every time I start to believe something's raped and taken from me. Life's gotta always be messing with me. Can't it chill and let me be free? Can't I take away all this pain? I try to every night, all in vain. Sometimes I cannot take this place. Sometimes it's my life I can't taste. Sometimes I cannot feel my face. You'll never see me fall from grace. Something takes apart.
All right, a little bit of more guilt over here. So I actually also brought some other corn tracks. I know. I just realized I have the Adidas track, which is "All Day I Dream About Sex," and we're doing the next mentoring program of No Shade that's sponsored by Adidas. It's like I am not paid to do that. Why am I doing that? And now I am. Did you hear that, Adidas? Where's the camera? Did you hear that, Adidas? Remember that when you decide that fee. Uh, so yeah. So why corn? What does it mean to? Why is it guilty for you to play corn or to play whatever?
Well, I think it was just like what I was saying, like before. I think for there's some tunes that are guilty pleasures because they are just full on, like you would feel embarrassed to play them. I don't think corn's really one of them because I feel like a lot of people relate when it comes to corn. Like, yeah, I'm seeing some nods. But I thought I'd warm some people up with some stuff and then, yeah, maybe go more embarrassing, less embarrassing. Is that how I used to talk over? That's how it's done.
So what else is what is guilty for you?
Well, maybe not guilty, but it's just hard to show it in a party maybe, or like in a set where someone is expecting something and then I don't know, that would be guilty to show something unexpected, and at the end I don't feel guilty of any of my musical taste.
I feel like you should be proud of your guilty pleasures, and definitely I just don't feel like music should be there to like prove how cool you are or something. You can be into music, that seems cool and stuff, but when it comes down to it, sometimes you need something to just cheer yourself up, or something that's like nostalgic, that makes you remind you of stuff, you know?
I tend to agree to that, and to a certain extent, I do feel like there are guilty pleasures, like
There's a proper scale with it. When I was doing this playlist, I was like, okay, so what really means guilty? Because I also feel like some stuff is like politically guilty. Like there's some stuff I'll listen to, like when you're listening to some really when you're listening to some super like misogynistic tune, and you're there like, oh, this is bad, but oh, this tune is so good. And you might not want to play it. There's also people who are, you know, like some artist names that I'm not going to drop, that you're like, oh, those tunes are still so dear to my heart, but I can't play them out in public. You know? I feel like people would know who I mean by that.
Yeah, for me, it's actually something that I have to deal in a very regular basis, because like playing baile funk, it's so easy to play something that's like very, very problematic. And if like the audience was actually understanding the lyrics of what I'm hearing, of what I'm playing, I think half of the people would be like,
words, if you got the words and you wrote down the words and people were reading it, like before they came, it would be like, oh, would you come to this party or not?
but then it's also like there's a lot of context and background. Like maybe if you did this very same thing in English, it wouldn't work. But in Portuguese, and knowing where it comes from, people are like more.
It's the same that I feel about dancehall. Like there's like one of my favorite dancehall tunes, Rompin' Shop, Vibes Cartel. Like the very beginning of that has like a super homophobic part, and I just like, I'll play it, but I'll just like blip out the beginning. But it's like a cultural thing as well, and it's like there's so many like nuances and layers to it. There's a choice that you have to make between your culture and your identity and how those conflict and stuff. And then in that sense, that's a guilty pleasure. I mean, there's so many like different variations of like the word. I think it's a really interesting theme to like explore. I've also got some things that like I feel like is banned in Berlin. Maybe it's banned in my friendship circles in Berlin, but stuff that like I grew up with, or stuff that I was listening to as a teenager, like some 80s stuff that I feel like not many people like any 80s music. Maybe now I'm on the subject of that, I should probably play what I'm talking about, shouldn't I? So, oh yeah, like I've got some George Benson, and I love George Benson. Like, Who doesn't love George Benson? We used to listen to this stuff all the time in London, and it's banging. Enjoy. Give me the night, George Benson.
Whenever dark is falling, you know the spirit of the party starts to come alive until the day is dawning. We can throw out all the blues and hit the city lights, 'cause there's music in the air and lots of loving everywhere. So give me the night. Give me the night. You need the heat, action, a place to dine, a glass of wine, a little late romance. So change the action. We'll see the people of the world coming out to dance, 'cause there's music in the air and lots of loving everywhere. So give me the night. Give me the night. So come on out tonight, and we'll leave the others on a ride to paradise. And if you feel alright, then we can be lovers, 'cause I see that starlight look in your eyes. And don't you know we can fly? Just give me the night. Give me the night. Cause there's music in the air and lots of loving everywhere. So give me the night. Give me the night. So come on out tonight, and we'll leave the others on a ride through paradise. And if you feel alright, then we can be lovers, 'cause I see that starlight look in your eyes. Don't you know we can fly? And if we stay together, we'll feel the rhythm of the evening taking us up high. Never mind the weather, we'll be dancing in the street until the morning light. 'Cause there's music in the air and lots of loving everywhere. So give me the night. Give me the night. Give me the night. Give me the night.
All right, so continue on that subject. I was just, you reminded me of this play that I was playing at an event. It was like this kid-friendly event that you're supposed to go with your families to eat typical Brazilian food. And there's like kids running around everywhere. It was like very, very, like, bold and italic that I should not play anything explicit. And I was playing this tune that was pretty much very, like, describing very graphically how this guy got a phenomenal blowjob from this woman. And I was like, it just really, and it was like a really fast rap, so I couldn't, oh my god, it just happened. It just happened.
Where did the context of guilty pleasures come in this? Like, you just wanted to tell that story, didn't you? I love it. I'm joking. I know, I'm joking. I'm just trying to make you look bad. I'm just trying to make you look guilty, to be honest.
A public announcement right now. Please, this is a judgment-free zone. Nobody here will be judged for the tunes played, and this is a safe space, as Jazz stated before. Now it's on camera. And what about you? Have you ever had to bleep anything out? Like, did you ever experience something similar?
I guess like with reggaeton, which is what I mostly play all the time. It's all these stories about having sex and dirty sex and being dirty with sex, basically. And some, like all of the, like mostly all of the times, it's a man doing this, and like the main reason of playing this reggaeton for queer people and or non-binary spaces and all these things, it's to just take that and just make it yours, and also enjoy the freedom that comes with sexuality, and not being like oppressed with, I don't know, the system or like the ideas of having like this heterosexual sex or something like this. So this is also one of the things that it's a little bit like, for example, problematic as we mentioned it before, but when you take over that and you make it yours and make it for that, it's
I think when you play it and that's your identity, but it's also your culture, it's you kind of taking ownership of that, and you know, it's you translating it and it means something else when you play it. But then I feel like there's so like when I was doing this as well, I was like, okay, what are the lengths of political that I will and won't play? Like, will I? Okay, so like I'm loyal Chris Brown, which is not on here, but not gonna lie, that is a tune. But then I'm like, also like some black metal. Like I was like, black metal for me is a guilty pleasure, and it's not because it's like bad music or what, or it's like uncool music, or it's necessarily embarrassing. But politically, like I could never play some black metal tunes like in radio shows, or I would never want to play it. And I always kind of consider like, because that music, like there's some tunes that like you know really mean a lot to me in the genre, but are so politically like far from me that I couldn't ever support it publicly. And there's so many. And then if you think about that, but then there's also kind of like, then there's also like Kanye. Like where does Kanye sit in that spectrum? So
Actually, I was just browsing on Spotify, and I found. No, I was browsing like in general. I mean, I do admire you a lot, Jazz, but I'm sorry. No, I was actually, and I stumbled upon this playlist called Pedophile Trap. And it's pretty much a bunch of cis men who do trap, who have like a little case in here and there of pedophilia, but they're actually good art. I mean, I like their music, and that's literally the definition of a guilty pleasure. that couldn't describe better.
this is the thing. Like I feel like when music means a lot to you as someone, like if you're a DJ and like music, I think when you have this like close relationship with music, and it's like something that can kind of almost narrate your whole life in a sense, where do your for me you have to, well, for everyone you have to set your own barriers where you want to listen to stuff politically and when you will listen to stuff by yourself. And I think that's like the idea of like a political kind of guilty pleasure, where it's like, oh, I couldn't. A political guilty pleasure. There's many more other themes of guilty pleasure. It's a big theme to like deconstruct, I swear. There's some that are, oh, okay. Let's move on to our next tune. Trey, do you want to introduce this tune?
So this is what I like to call fuckboy trap. I'm not saying anything in particular about the artist, but this is what the neighborhood fuckboy will listen to and will show the women. And you can also hear those tunes in the closest skate park. Just y'all go to Hasenheide and then just like go to the skate park. You're gonna listen to that. You're gonna enjoy it. It's okay, but it's a fuckboy tune. You know that.
Three, two, one.
Okay, we have a live confession happening right now at CCTV.
I was that neighborhood fuckboy in 2014, and I got way more of these tunes that I still rinse to this day.
On that note, Trey doesn't even want to promote the artist, so I'm not going to say who it's by, and I'm not going to say what the song is called. But, I can't really... Oh, okay. Yeah, so on that note, I mean, in respect of guilty pleasures, there's some tunes that I didn't even know was a guilty pleasure. Like, I was like chatting to my friends about this tune, and I was like, how do you not know this tune and stuff? And they were like, oh, like, no, I've never heard it. And I was like, oh, it's a classic, like, listen to it. And then, you know, when you play something and you see someone's reaction, and then you're like, wait, is this embarrassing for me to be playing this to you? But I don't know, this for me is a banger, and yeah, enjoy. This is a Seal, Kiss from a Rose. This is not embarrassing, I have to say.
Yeah, I was at Burkine the other day, and Ben Clark dropped this, wheeled it 15 times. He literally played this on loop for an hour. Just, you got it about this far, and then wheel it, and then everyone goes, oi, and then Ben Clark plays it again.
This tune, I'm sorry, fully unites people. Like, every generation who has experienced, like, the 90s and Batman will enjoy this tune. I swear down. My family will all sing this together. Do you know this tune?
I have to, because this is, I was telling you about earlier about this radio in Brazil that played this genre that they would say that was like adult contemporary. So like it would play George Benson as well, it would play Seal, it would play Enya, it would play like all the very elevatory tunes that you could hear. Like it's okay. I'm listening to this and I'm standing beside a stranger and just waiting for time to fly. That's what this tune speaks
There is so much a man can tell me, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain, baby. To me, you're like a grown addiction that I can't deny. Won't you tell me, is that healthy, baby? Did you know that when it snows, my eyes become a lot and the light that you shine can't be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave. There is so much a man can tell me, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. To me, you're like a grown addiction that I can't deny. Now won't you tell me, is that healthy, baby? But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? Baby, I can feel it too. Kiss from a rose on the green. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels. Yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the bloom on the
This next one, ooh, that's kind of loud, isn't it? This next one, I have no shame. Do you have to have shame for it to be a guilty pleasure?
You know what? It is part of the category. Maybe it's like part of the tick box, like shame.
Yeah, shame's like there's like 6 categories, and if you get 4 out of 6, then it's a guilty pleasure. I have no shame for this one, but yeah, I don't have exactly. I don't have shame for anything. No shame in this corner of the studio. Lana Del Rey is a fucking weapon. and yeah, she's great. Her tunes are great. This is one of her tunes, Blue Jeans. It's not even her most underground. It's like the most overtly Lana Del Rey tune you can get. Everyone was well into it when I was like 16 at high school. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I love Lana Del Rey," and I'm like, "Oh no, I love dubstep," because I was some fucking stupid teenager or whatever. And then I got to about 18, and then I realized they were all right. But back then I had shame. Now I don't give a fuck. Lana Del Rey is the hottest DJ in the game right now. Hold tight, Lana. Big ups.
Blue jeans, white shirt. Walked into the room, you know you made my eyes burn. It was like James Dean, for sure. You're so fresh to death and sick as cancer. You were sort of punk rock, I grew up on hip-hop. But you fit me better than my favorite sweater. And I know that love is mean and love hurts, but I still remember that day we met in December. Oh baby, I will love you till the end of time. I would wait a million years. Promise you'll remember that
love how everybody has just suddenly jumped on this theme. I'm very happy to welcome everybody's new guilty pleasure music. Hubert is jumping on. Let me get back to the tunes. I'm sorry. Okay, let's give some context. Here you go.
I'm too ashamed to play this without giving any context. In fact, this is 2014, I think. Out to my man Nirev, out to my man Milan. We were resident DJs in a pretty whack area in Munich, tech house DJs. And this was my favorite tune from back in the days. My man Harry just played a Lana Del Rey tune, so I felt like this would be a nice little transition. Anyhow, what makes this a guilty pleasure is it's fucking tech house, and I guess that's enough. Still, it bangs.
And Lana Del Rey.
And it's got Lana Del Rey on it, and also there was a specific...
Tech house plus Lana Del Rey equals guilty pleasure. That's definitely a thing.
I think that's the definition. I think that's the formula, in fact. And ultimately, this was a special momentum in tech house from 2012 to 2014 when they had these square wave bass lines, and any tune was banging when it had this. As soon as you heard like a boom, 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 boom bass line, the tune banged. The rest could be anything, basically. So here's the tune.
In the backyard.
2014 blends, 2014 reverbs. ...2014 build-ups. Everybody put your hands up.
Go play a video game. Go play a video game. Go play a video game.
I'm not gonna lie, this Lana Del Rey thing is kind of... I'm not gonna interrupt that drop. But this Lana Del Rey thing is kind of making me want to do just like a Lana Del Rey back to back because I have a Lana Del Rey tune. Should I do it?
It's you, it's all for you. Tell you all the time. It's you, it's all for you. Tell you all the time. Heaven is a place on earth with you. Tell me all the things you wanna do. I heard that you like the bad girls. I heard that you like the bad girls. I heard that you like the bad girls, girls. I heard that you like the bad girls. I heard
Another guilty pleasure.
Suicide.
Sean Kingston.
Suicidal.
Beautiful girls. We used to sing this so much in our music school because the piano line is like so easy, and we learn
When we fell apart. 'Cause
what was it? What was it? Oh, Stand By Me, which
last
should-
forever.
I should have put on.
Forever.
Actually, that is another guilty pleasure of mine. But yeah, that tune. Ooh. I mean, you just used to sing this in music school all the time. It was so fun.
So said that we couldn't last together.
So I would say this is a throwback guilty pleasure. But this is still a sick tune.
You're one of a kind, but you're my
I have quite a few throwbacks as well in here. And the next one, I mean, what are we doing next? You want to go next? All right, so after that puppy break, I'm gonna keep on being guilty.
We can still keep it as guilty. Like, the next text is gonna be like super ultra mega guilty. It's like taking you to a wedding, Mexican wedding. So this is just like when everyone is very drunk, very like up to here with alcohol and happiness. So yeah, I hope that you like my selection.
It was back in 99.
Sure, we're gonna love it.
All the time, ooh, and I went away for doing my first crime. And I never thought that we was gonna see each other. And then I came out, mommy moved me down south. Ooh, I ain't with my girl who I thought was my world. It came out to be that she wasn't the girl for me. See, it's very divine. You're one of a kind, but you mash up my mind. You have to get declined, oh Lord. My baby is driving me crazy. You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work. You have me suicidal. When you say it's over, damn all these beautiful girls, they only wanna do you dirt. They'll have you suicidal when they say it's over. Now we're fussing and now we're fighting. Please tell me why I'm feeling slighted and I don't know how to make it.
Also, can I just say, like, this was such a, I swear, each decade has its throwback decades. This was like its like 50s, 60s kind of doo-wop days kind of thing. They would always have that. The same with, who's that guy who sung Crazy? Niles Barkley. Like, you know, they had that 60s Amy Winehouse, such 60s vibes in 2008, I swear. I don't know what that was about. Here we go. Bad Puppy Mix.
El paso del gigante.
club de baile. Quiero bailar muchachos la guaracha sabrosona. Yo quiero bailar muchachos la guaracha sabrosona. Con una linda muchacha que sepa bailar guaracha. Con una linda muchacha que sepa bailar guaracha. Guarachera linda, guarachera hermosa. Oye los bongos, yo sé que lo goza. Y dice.
Si vienen a bailar, si vienen a bailar, pues vamos a gozar. Si vienen a dormir, salgan fuera de aquí. Este es el ritmo de mi móvil que te vas a mover. Te traigo de la placer para que muevas tu cuerpo de la cabeza a los pies. Y ahora que estamos de pie, se repita todo después. Hey, hey, oh, oh, hey, hey, no me dejas dormir. Yo confiaba en ti y cómo me pagas los lujos y un coche, comida, ropa y el apartamento yo los pagaba con una maldición caer en tu juego. Decías que me amabas, pero todo era mentira para saciar tu ego. Ay, de ti me liberé, me puse pa' mí. Llevas adelante, pinta de elegante, Dios mediante salí de ti. Porque eres un estúpido, cupido, presumido, torpe que no te niegas, que dices mentiras baratas, que no sabes cómo es que se trata a una mujer como yo, lleno de patrañas, una araña, laucha, cucaracha, bicho, sanguijuela, no fuiste a la escuela, escoria, ricocéfalo, una lacra, ignoras cómo se trata una mujer como yo. Tú, sí, a ti te estoy hablando.
Ay, vida mía. No te asombres si te digo lo que fuiste, un ingrato con mi pobre corazón, porque el fuego de tus lindos ojos negros alumbraron el camino de otro amor, y pensar que te adoraba tiernamente, que a tu lado como nunca me sentí, y por esas cosas raras de la vida, sin el beso de tu boca yo me vi. Amor de mis amores, amor mío, que me hiciste que no puedo conformarme sin poderte contemplar, ya que pagaste mal a mi cariño tan sincero, lo que conseguirás que no te nombre nunca más. Amor de mis amores, si dejaste de quererme, no hay cuidado que la gente de eso no se enterará. Que gano con decir que un hombre cambió mi suerte, se burlarán de mí, que nadie sepa mi sufrir. No te asombres si te digo lo que fuiste, un ingrato con mi pobre corazón, porque el fuego de tus lindos ojos negros alumbraron el camino de otro amor, y pensar que te adoraba tiernamente, que a tu lado como nunca me sentí, y por esas cosas raras de la vida, sin el beso de tu boca yo me vi. Amor de mis amores, si dejaste de quererme, no hay cuidado que la gente
los hombros y la cadera con sabrosura. Luego te dice al oído, ay chiquitita, linda, pechocha, pepi y mamá, ¿cómo te quiere tu papá, pe? Ay chiquitita, linda, pechocha, pepi y mamá, ¿cómo te quiere tu papá, pe? Ay chiquitita, linda, pechocha, pepi y mamá, ¿cómo te quiere tu papá, pe? Ay chiquitita, linda, pechocha, pepi y mamá, ¿cómo te quiere tu papá, pe? ¡Atención! El rey ordena y manda a bailar de caballito, aunque se enoje tu mamá.
Una novia yo tengo, es muy linda y traviesa, pero tiene un defecto, es niña fresa, es niña fresa. Cuando vamos al baile, vamos varias parejas. Como ya la conocen, llega el mesero y todos empiezan. Que le sirvan tepache, que le sirvan cerveza, que le sirvan refresco, o un helado sorpresa. ¿Qué es lo que quiere la nena? ¿Qué va a pedir la princesa? ¿Qué se le antoja a la reina? ¿Qué quiere la niña fresa?
Banana split, en buena onda, ¿no?
¿Qué les dije? Ella es muy cariñosa, me acaricia y me besa, pero no se le quita lo niña fresa, lo niña fresa. ¿En dónde anda el mesero? Que se acerque a la mesa. Como no hubo bananas, a ver qué quiere la niña fresa. Que le sirvan tepache, que le sirvan cerveza, que le sirvan refresco, o un helado sorpresa. ¿Qué es lo que quiere la nena? ¿Qué va a pedir la princesa? ¿Qué se le antoja a la reina? ¿Qué quiere la niña fresa?
Entonces, un ice cream de perdido, ¿no? Ay, cómo me chocan esos lugares.
Y vamos a la molienda. Y vamos a la molienda. De pronto veo venir cerquita de mí. Yo vi a una culebra mirando hacia mí. Yo grité, ¡ay, la culebra! Y yo grité, ¡ay, la culebra! La gente salió huyendo, mirando yo enojado. Toditos asustados comenzaron a gritar: ¡Huye, José! ¡Huye, José! ¡Ven pa' acá! Cuidado con la culebra, te muerde los pies. ¡Ay, si me muerde los pies! Que no puedo yo bailar. Si me muerde los pies, ya no voy a poder gozar. Echa pa' allá, ven pa' acá. Cuidado con la culebra, te muerde los pies. ¡Ay, si me muerde los pies! Yo la quiero acurruñar. Si me muerde los pies, yo la tengo que matar. Echa pa' allá, ven pa' acá. Cuidado con la culebra, te muerde los pies. ¡Eso! ¡Hoy no más! ¡Arre, macho! Yo grité, ¡ay, la culebra! Y yo grité, ¡ay, la culebra! La gente salió huyendo, mirando yo enojado. Toditos asustados comenzaron a gritar: ¡Huye, José! ¡Huye, José! ¡Ven pa' acá! Cuidado con la culebra, te muerde los pies. ¡Ay, si me muerde los pies! No puedo yo bailar. Si me muerde los pies, ya no voy a poder gozar. Echa pa' allá, ven pa' acá. Cuidado con la culebra. los pies. Yo la quiero acurruñar, si me muerde los pies, yo la tengo que matar. Echa pa' allá, ven pa' acá, cuidado con la culebra, te muerde los pies.
Empezamos entonces, ¿no? ¡Ay! Como ya no estás conmigo, voy a celebrar tu olvido, voy a darle gusto al gusto y bailaré con mis amigos. Y como les gusta el chupe, me los echaré a toditos. Esta noche me echo a Pedro, le sigo con José Cuervo, y si llega el presidente, pues también él va pa' adentro. No, no, luego no le gustan los presidentes. No me como. Y aunque me digan chupitos, uno de patrón me aviento. Tráigamelos a todos, mijo, todos mis chuper amigos. No.
Vamos DJ rápidamente.
Que comience la fiesta.
Mesa, mesa, mesa que más aplauda, mesa que más aplauda, mesa que más aplauda, le manda la niña. Mesa que más aplauda, sí, mesa que más aplauda, no, mesa que más aplauda, le manda la niña. Sa, yakuza, yakuza, sa, yakuza, yakuza, sa, yakuza, yakuza, sa, yakuza, yakuza.
Tú me aplaudes, que tú me aplaudes, tú me aplaudes, que tú me aplaudes, yakuza, 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 yakuza. Tú me aplaudes, que tú me aplaudes, tú me aplaudes, que tú me aplaudes.
Mesa que más aplauda, sí, mesa que más aplauda, no, mesa que más aplauda, le mando la niña. Mesa que más aplauda, sí, mesa que más aplauda, no, mesa que más aplauda, le mando la niña.
Yakuza, yakuza. Y los doctores, y los ingenieros, y los licenciados, y los arquitectos, los contadores, y los maestros. Yakuza, yakuza. Y los albañiles, el obrero, el herrero, el carpintero, y los choferes, y todo el mundo. Yakuza, yakuza. Y los malandros, y los huevones, los hijos de papi, y los juniors, y los fresas, los que le roban el dinero a mamá y se lo gastan en clima. Yakuza, 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 yakuza. sonido de la cumbia. Ah, ahí.
Ese verde que en tus ojos hay, en el mundo no parece igual. Cuando tú te acercas junto a mí, te juro que yo no sé qué hacer. Oye, mira, ven, 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 te quiero mirar, sí, 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 ven, ven, te quiero mirar. Oye, ven, 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 hoy te quiero ver, sí, 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 ven, ven. Ese verde que en tus ojos hay, solo lo refleja el mar. En mi vida se reflejará, y así me inspiro a cantar. Oh, sí está rica la cumbia. Tus labios son dos corales que he marcado y registrado yo. Aunque los busque en el cielo azul, te juro nunca los hallaré. Oye, mira, ven, 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 te quiero mirar, sí, 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 ven, ven, te quiero mirar. Oye, ven, 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 hoy te quiero ver, sí, 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 ven, ven.
Thank you so much. That was Bad Puppies. Such a brilliant mix. I really love that. And it's gotten so many people chatting about, you know, what defines a guilty pleasure and what is and stuff. I mean, and like, for example, like we're listening to this and we're like, oh, this music is banging and such good music. Let me just put on a track while I'm chatting. This is SWV week. Shout out to Whitney, who when I asked what her guilty pleasure is, she said it was this tune. And it's like, okay, so it's like, how would you even
Oh, word, it's like that? Well, check this out. This how we gonna do this.
how would you even regard this? Like, where do you categorize this in the idea of guilty pleasures? Because I was like, SWV, like, you wouldn't feel embarrassed to say that. But then, you know, for her, it would mean something else. It would mean like, oh, this is the tune that I listen to when I'm by myself and just chilling. And it's a tune, so shout out to Whitney for this banger. But thank you so much for that mix. So, yeah, I'm gonna hand the mic to you. Like, tell us a little bit about that and like what inspired you to make that.
So basically, what my inspiration was weddings, and when everyone is in Mexico, is this music that I put. It's mostly at the end of the party, and not just only in weddings. Like I think also in every party that goes farther and farther, especially in houses. They need to put that.
But like with that, do you mean like all ages? Because that's the thing. Guilty pleasures is like an all ages thing.
This is like, for some people it's guilty because, oh, that's my mother or father's music, or my elderly's music, which is like not cool to show it to my friends, my young friends or whatever. But then like it's in every party, everywhere in the streets, and there's a big culture behind this, like not only for weddings, but also in neighborhoods as in Tepito, which is like the most dangerous one in Mexico. They do these big parties with, it's called sonidero, and every time they have like a microphone and they put like this and they make a circle and they start chanting about whatever, and everyone is so happy and you need to be dancing. That's the thing. Like I really like this music because you dance, like there's no way that you cannot dance. So yeah, this is like a little bit more of context of the guiltiness behind this, but I'm not guilty of having this taste at all. Like I really like this.
No judgment with the guilty music.
I can deeply relate this by being Brazilian, and we also have the same guilty and non-guilty pleasures, and also like those tracks that are always gonna be and like ending a party. Those are gonna be them tracks, you know. And it was funny. I can relate also to a nerdy experience where I was playing at Butters, Discotheque Melancholy, and I was upstairs in the balcony like smoking a cigarette. And then I don't know, I was just talking about this whole move because it was a special edition about Baile Funk. And I started like just singing this song that was like really old school Baile Funk. And someone just looked at me and started singing back, and then all the Brazilians from upstairs just like looked at each other, and a choir happened very spontaneously, and that was beautiful.
This is something with the guilty pleasures also, that sometimes for our generation can be guilty because it's like from the past, from very old school. But then it's really in the back of our minds, and when you hear that, it's like, oh, actually, it's a really nice tune. I really love it, but then I don't know, like the people that I'm around in this cool party, in this club, in this cold club, they are not gonna like it.
You know, like what tune I can like definitely relate that to? I feel like Cameo, Candy. You know that tune? Like Candy, I can feel it when I walk. Yeah, that one. Sorry about my singing voice. Yeah, no, that tune. I feel like, because I remember, you know, just having it played in school, and then everybody stood up when it was played in school. The teachers totally won us over as well. Like, it was assembly and no one wants to come into assembly. They're like, oh god, it's assembly Monday morning now. And then she puts that on as we come in, and they're like, but I also love like guilty pleasures. There's like any tune that tells you the dance moves to it. Like I love that. I've got a cheeky one. I've got a cheeky one in my stick for that. I don't know. Is that the right term? Here we go, Trey. What are you playing right now?
Fake Love from Drake.
Yeah. Drake, I would definitely say is like a guilty pleasure. No judgment on that, but like, yes.
People showing fake
good one.
love to me, straight up to my face. Straight up to my face. I've been down so long, it look like up to me. They look up to me. I got fake people showing fake love to me, straight up to my face. Straight up to my face. Something ain't right when we talking. Something ain't right when we talking. Look like you hiding your problems. Really, you never was solid. No, you can't son me. You won't ever get to run me. Just when shit look, gotta reach, I reach back like 1-3, like 1-3. Yeah. That's when they smile in my face. Whole time they wanna take my place. Whole time they wanna take my place. Whole time they wanna take my place. Yeah, I know they wanna take my place. I can tell that love is fake.
I don't trust a word you say. How you wanna click up after your mistakes? Look you in the face and it's just not the same. I've been down so long it look like up to me. They look up to me. I got fake people showing fake love to me. Straight up to my face. Straight up to my face. I've been down so long it look like up to me. They look up to me. I got fake people showing fake love to me. Straight up to my face. Straight up to my face. Yeah. Straight up to my face, tryna play it safe. Vibes switch like night and day. I can see it like right away. I came up, you changed up. I caught that whole play. Since then, it's never been the same. That's when they smile in my face. Whole time they wanna take my place. Whole time they wanna take my place. Whole time they wanna take my place. Yeah, I know they wanna take my place. I can tell that love is fake. I don't trust a word you say.
Candlelight and soul forever. A dream of you and me together. Say it.
Gotta have some Spice Girls on the Guilty Pleasures. Like, you can't not, can you?
Believe it. Free your mind of doubt and danger. Be for real, don't be a stranger. We
I
can
think we would be definitely subject to lawsuit if we didn't play any Spice Girls tracks in a guilty pleasure. Well, there you go, some lip sync realness.
I'm gonna lie, I feel like this is the least guilty Spice Girls tune because this is actually like a tune, right? Thank you. People agreeing with me back here.
wanna make love to you, baby. I had a little love, now I'm back for more. Wanna make love to you, baby. Set your spirit free. It's the only way to be. Silly games that you were playing, empty words we both were saying. Let's work it out, boy. Let's work it out, boy. Once again, if we endeavor, love will bring us back together. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. You as good as I remember, baby. Get it on, get it on. 'Cause tonight is the night when two become one. I need some love like I never needed love before. Wanna make love to ya, baby. I had a little love, now I'm back for more. Wanna make love to ya, baby. Set your spirit free. It's the only way to be.
I feel like there's lots of back-to-back games that you could play with like guilty pleasures, you know? Like I'm thinking like you need to top each other's embarrassment, you know? There's a back-to-back where it's like, oh, you think that's embarrassing? Oh, let me play this.
'Cause tonight
Oh, look,
is the night when
I'm tempted Trey right now. Let's see if we can top.
never needed love before.
If we can top this embarrassment.
I had a little love, now I'm back for more. Wanna make love to ya, baby. I need some love like I never needed love before. Wanna make love to ya, baby. I had a little love, now I'm back for more. Wanna make love to ya, baby. Set your spirit free. It's the only way to be. It's
definitely a tune though. Actually, the other one was tune. This is the other one. You need a hymn.
I shit you not. I listen to this almost every day. Almost every day. Like, at least every week.
One of my favorite Mariah tunes, definitely.
Saying we up in your house, saying I'm up in your car. But you in LA, and I'm out at your mains. I'm up in the A, you so lame. And no one here even mentions your name. It must be the weed, it must be the E. Cause you be poppin', heard you get it poppin'. Why you so obsessed with me? Boy, I wanna know. Lying that you're sexing me when everybody knows. It's clear that you're upset with me. Oh, finally found a girl that you couldn't impress. Last man on the earth still couldn't get this. You're delusional, you're delusional. Boy, you're losing your mind. It's confusing, yo. You're confused, you know. Why you wasting your time? Got you all fired up with your Napoleon complex. See it right through you like you're bathed in a Windex. Boy, why you so obsessed with me? And I'ma let it sing. And I'ma
You know when you're like, you're doing your stories on Instagram, and then you see that one person who's a fucking lurker that barely follows you, but they're like always, like they don't even follow you. They actually go to the trouble of going to your profile and seeing every single stories of yours, and you're like, why are you so obsessed with me? What is your problem? Are you upset with me? Are you lying that you're sexing me? What's up?
My favorite, it's one of my favorite games where you kind of have to say lyrics. It's not really lame. It's like you have to say, like when you can say a lyric in real life, like IRL, then you're like score, you know, you get a point. Why are you so obsessed with me, boy? I wanna know.
Sometimes even people that don't like, or at least seem like they don't like you, that you don't like them, and they're like fucking obsessed with you. Why? Why are you?
No shade.
With your Napoleon complex, see it right through you like you're bathed in a Windex. Boy, why you so obsessed with me? And I'ma let it sing. And I'ma girl sing.
I'm dedicating this to every single one of my ex-partners. Ariana Grande, hold that ponytail proudly. This is for you. This is Ariana and this is Grande. Hold that ponytail, bitch. This is for you.
I'm so happy someone be playing some Ariana Grande back here in this guilty pleasure thing, because I really, really wanted to play some Ariana. Not gonna lie, she is a guilty pleasure of mine.
Look what I got. Look what you
Although I was gonna go Seven Rings vibes. You know that she got her tattoo that says like no, but she gets like some tattoo that says Seven Rings, but her hand was too small that she decided to just drop one of the characters. Like it was like dropping an E off a letter or some shit. Like she dropped one of the characters. And so her tattoo says like 7 rings is in rings of a hob of a cooker. So dumb, but crack me up. Shout out to Ariana.
She taught me patience, how she handles pain. That shit's amazing. I've loved and I lost, but that's not what I see. 'Cause look what I found. No need for searching. And all that I say, thank you, thank you, next. Thank you, next. Thank you. I'm so fucking grateful for my ex. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you, next. Yeah, I'm so fucking grateful for my ex. Thank you, next. Thank you, next. Thank you, next. I'm so fucking. One day I walk down the aisle, hold her hand to my mama. I'll be thanking my dad, 'cause she grew from the drama. Only wanna do it once real bad. Go make that shit last. God forbid something happens. At least this song is a smash. I got so much love, got so much patience. Learned from the pain. Turned out amazing. Let down all the lows, but that's not what I see. Look what I found. Ain't no need for searching. If all that I say, thank you, thank you, next. Thank you, next. I'm so fucking grateful for my ex. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you, next. I'm so fucking grateful for my ex. Thank you, next. Thank you, next. Thank you, next. Yeah. Thank you, next. Thank you, next. Thank you, next. Yeah.
Thank you for that. I'm really excited because it prepped me up for like one of my very embarrassing ones, which I was really resilient to. I don't know, like I feel like this really like tops the idea of like guilty pleasures. For me anyway. I think guilty pleasures is also just something unexpected, like something that you wouldn't really expect someone to play. Yeah, let me just say this is an acoustic version. Yeah.
Listen. If I was your boyfriend, I'd never let you go. I could take you places you ain't never been before. Baby, take a chance so you'll never ever know. I got money in my hands that I really like to blow. Yeah, on you, chillin' by the fire while we eating fondue. I don't know about me, but I know about you. So say hello to falsetto in 3, 2, swear. I'd like to be everything you want. Hey girl, let me talk to you. If I was your boyfriend, I'd never let you go. I keep you on my arm, girl. You never be alone. And I could be a gentleman, anything you want. If I was your boyfriend, I'd never let you go. Well, tell me what you like, yeah, tell me what you don't. I could be a buzz like, yeah, fly across the globe. I don't ever wanna fight, yeah, you already know I'ma make you shine bright like you're laying in the snow, yeah. Girlfriend, girlfriend, you could be my girlfriend. You could be my girlfriend till the world ends. Make you dance to a spin and a twirl, and voice going crazy on the silk like a whirlwind sway. I'd like to be everything you want. Hey girl, let me talk to you. And
If I was your boyfriend, I'd never let you go. I'd keep you on my arm, girl. Never be
We have 9 minutes. We have 9 minutes of the best and worst music. Be ashamed or don't.
boyfriend. I'd never let you go.
The guiltiest of guilt.
As fuck. I'm sorry.
Am I guilty as fuck right now? This is me being guilty as fuck. It's a tune though. Isn't this a tune?
It is a tune.
If I was your man, I'd never leave you, girl. I just wanna. If I was your boyfriend, I'd never let you go. I'd keep you warm, my arm, girl. You never realize, and I could be your gentleman. Anything you want. If I was your boyfriend, never let you go.
You know, actually, like, it was so funny the way that, like, I got into this tune. Basically, like, my friend was throwing a party when we were, like, teenagers, and I said I would, like, help clean up with her, and I was being nice by doing this, and to punish me, she decides to put the acoustic Justin Bieber Believe on repeat, and she had, like, this fancy sound system in her house, which she would play in every room, which I don't know whether it was torture or, like, just manipulation or some kind of thing, but I did go through this process where I just, you know, had to just, I had to just give in. And now, like, the first, I think 4 or 5 tracks on that tune, the first, it just like, they bang.
They bang.
They do bang.
And I ain't gonna lie, cause your loving gets me high. So to keep you by my side, there's nothing that I won't try. Butterflies in the eyes and the looks to kill. Time is passing.
I'm sorry, but this is old school. This is not guilty. This is a tune. This is such a tune.
Too much is never enough. You always there to lift me up when these times get rough. I was lost, now I'm found. Ever since you've been around, you're the woman that I want, so yo, I'm putting it down. Come my lady, come my lady. You're my butterfly, sugar baby. Come my lady, you're my pretty baby. I'll make your legs shake, you make me go crazy. Come my lady, come my lady. You're my butterfly, sugar baby. Come my lady, you're my pretty baby. I'll make your legs shake, you make me go crazy. I don't deserve you unless it's some kind of hidden message to show me life is precious, and I guess it's true. But to tell the truth, I really never knew till I met you. See, I was lost and confused, twisted and used. I knew a better life existed, but thought that I missed my lifestyle wild. I was living like a wild child, trapped on a short leash, parole to police files. So yo, what's happening now? I see the sun breaking down into dark clouds, and a vision of you standing out in the crowd. So come my lady, come my lady. You're my butterfly, sugar baby. Come my lady, you're my pretty baby. I'll make your legs shake, you make me go crazy. Come my lady, come my lady. You're my butterfly, sugar baby. Come my lady, you're my pretty baby. I'll make your legs shake, you make me go crazy.
Hey sugar mama, come and dance with me. The smartest thing you ever did was take a chance with me. Whatever tickles your fancy, girls, me and you like Sid and Nancy. So sexy, almost evil, talking about butterflies in my head. I used to think that happy endings were only in the books I read, but you made me feel alive when I was almost dead. You filled that empty space with the love I used to chase, and as far as I can see, it don't get better than this. So butterfly, here is a song, and it's sealed with a kiss and a thank you, miss.
Would you want me? If I couldn't get you finer things like all of them diamond ring bitches kill for? Would you still roll? If we couldn't see the sun rising off the shore of Thailand, would you ride then? If I wasn't driving, if I wasn't a 8-figure nigga by the name of Jigga, would you come around me or would you clown me? If I couldn't flow futuristic, would ya? Put your 2 lips on my wood and kiss it, could ya? See yourself with a nigga working harder than 9 to 5, then 10 to 6, 2 jobs to survive, or do you need a baller so you can shop into the mall, brag tell your friends what I bought ya. If you couldn't see yourself with a nigga when his dough is low, baby girl, if this is so, yo, can I get a fuck you to the bitches from all of my niggas who don't love hoes? They get no dough.
Can I get a to these niggas from all of my bitches who don't got love for niggas without love?
Can I get a fuck you to these bitches from all of my niggas who don't love hoes? They
Yo, Jay-Z is what's up. Fuck it.
These niggas from all of my bitches who don't got love for niggas without love. Now can you
bounce with me, with me, with me. Can you bounce with me, with me? Bounce with me, with me, with me. Can you bounce with me, with me, with me?
Let's like have this on. The thing is, for me, Mariah and Jay-Z, they're not really like. You feel embarrassed when you listen to Mariah and Jay-Z, or is it like what makes them guilty for you?
It's not as guilty as in like actually I feel ashamed about playing it. It's more like I wouldn't do it in a club. So like I think most of this is like I wouldn't do it in a club setup.
I totally agree. And there is like do it. Just do it. You wouldn't want to hit it.
And I feel like we should do more of this so people feel like there's so many things that we don't get to enjoy in a dance floor because people are so fucking concerned about being super cool and playing the latest releases. And like, yeah, of course, it's nice, but at the same time, like, can we go?
I don't know where our feedback's coming from. I apologize. Yeah, but like I totally half agree with you, but then I also like half disagree in the sense that it's like I was actually chatting about this outside. Like this kind of time is like a really big time for like this nostalgic periods and stuff, and like
question how my dude flows. I'm good to these bad hoes, like my puss sweated, I'm dry.
Sorry about that. Yeah, this like time periods. I mean, it, like kind of naughty style. Like when I was saying, like the Sean Kingston tune is like super like this throwback like 60s vibe, and the music video as well is so like they're in a diner and everything and stuff. And I feel like especially with kind of deconstructed club vibes as well, if you want to call it that, like it plays with like this idea of like nostalgia, and there's like so many tunes right now that like would be throwbacks or would be auto pleasures, but because they've been remixed so much, they're kind of like a part of our new kind of culture now, like Evanescence, like which is literally on here as well. I was like, I need to kind of reference that as well, because like there's like some tunes that have kind of been brought back, and it's like it's not embarrassing to like it anymore, or it's not because everybody is connected by it, you know. It's back in vogue. Word. What? Good tune though. I love talking about this. It's really interesting. The next one we've got. I was thinking about just commercial grime. The next one is some commercial grime vibe. Well, like of course, like Dizzy. Love this tune. Cracks me up every time.
Turn the bass up. Turn the bass up. Yeah. Yeah. Big, dirty, stinking bass. Dirty, stinking bass. Big, dirty, stinking bass. Dirty, dirty, stinking big. Dirty, stinking bass. Dirty, stinking bass. Big, dirty, stinking bass. Bass, 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 bass. I don't need no speed. No. I don't need no heroin. No, thanks. I don't want no coke. You can keep your ketamine. Yeah. I'm a bassline junkie. What? I'm a bassline junkie. Tell him again. I'm a bassline junkie. And I like it funky. What the fuck? What are you doing? What? Who touched it? Who told you to touch it? I will fucking kill you. Don't ever touch that fucking shit.
You know when you know the video so well that like the part of the video you're like, oh, that's also important.
I'm a fiend for a big dirty bassline. When I hear one, I have a great time. A bit of men's all I require. I let the bassline take me higher. My friends think that it's a bad habit, but I'm just like, fuck you, damn it. If you take my bass away, I'll blow your fucking face away. You might think I'm over the top, but when I hear that bassline drop, I just can't control my actions, but I still feel satisfaction. So don't come around here whinging. I just wanna hear the bassline rinsing, or we could just skank out all day. If not, get the fuck out my way. I don't need no speed. No. I don't need no heroin. I don't want no coke. You can keep your ketamine. I'm a baseline junkie. I'm a baseline junkie. I'm a baseline junkie. And I like it funky. Big, dirty, stinking bass. Dirty, stinking bass. Big, dirty, stinking bass. Dirty, dirty, stinking big. Dirty, stinking bass. Dirty, stinking bass. Big, dirty, stinking bass. Bass, 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 bass. The other day I got a nice boat order, and I think it's well out of order. All my neighbours throwing a fit, so I told them suck my dick. Then I told them I got the power, and I turned the music up louder. All night till 6 in the morning. Old bastards, they're just boring. You know me, I'm the baseline father. Nobody can't tell me nada. Then the police turned up and they took me. We drove down to the lick and they booked me. But they said they'd give me a caution if I didn't give them no distortion. But I said don't bother, I'm guilty, and my baseline's fucking filthy. I don't need no speed. I don't need no heroin. I don't want no coke. You can keep your ketamine. I'm a baseline junkie. I'm a baseline junkie. I'm a baseline junkie. And I like it funky. Big, dirty, stinking bass. Dirty, stinking bass. Big, dirty, stinking bass. Dirty, dirty, stinking big. Dirty, stinking bass. Dirty, stinking bass. Big, dirty, stinking bass. Bass, 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 bass. Big, dirty, stinking bass. Dirty, stinking bass. Big, dirty, stinking bass. Bass, 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 bass. Big, dirty, stinking bass. Dirty, stinking bass. Big, dirty, stinking bass. Dirty, dirty, stinking big. Dirty, stinking bass. Dirty, stinking bass. Big, dirty, stinking bass. Bass, 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 bass.
There we go. We have one more tune to end off the Guilty Pleasures edition of the No Shade Show. Trey, take it away. Wait, can I just like... I just asked Trey what this tune is, and this was his response. What is this tune?
It's Mosh. I mean, I'm gonna incriminate Simon for this one because I was at his house. Yes, I'm incriminating the very another radio, the radio founder from CCTV, Simon Kaiser. Hey Simon, yeah, I listened to this in your house, and I really like it, but I do think it's a guilty pleasure. I'm sorry, but I love it.
What did you call it? What was that? What was that word?
It's a remix from In My Mind from Hashtag.
Brilliant, I love it, I love it. We're gonna do some shout outs as well.
Yes, we are. We're gonna have a party. Well, there is a party going on if you're in Berlin at Akud right now. There's the Eclat crew that is pretty much the no shade version of music production. They are lovely people, and they're showcasing some of the people that they taught. So yeah, you should go check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing next week at Cake, which is an event called Bad Sisters, which I think is on November the 9th. That should be pretty fun. It's a really cool event. I'm super excited to play. I'm gonna play some random stuff and some Guilty Pleasures vibes. I'm on this vibe. I'm down to do some sets that are kind of themed about this. What about you? Any shout outs for you?
Yes, tomorrow I'm gonna play with Dice Festival. It's gonna be very, very, very nice because it's inside of a church. So time to move your ass inside of a church. So it's tomorrow at 6 and it's for free. So just come to the church tomorrow.